Namaste Gurukulians, how are you? Hope you will be fine. Today we will start the video lecture of class 12th Business Studies. We have studied the first unit, Nature and Purposes of Management. Today we will start the second unit, that is Principles of Management. What are principles of management? Principles of management are the general guidelines which guides the managers while taking their decisions. Whenever a manager takes any decision, he may read, he may study, he may apply these management principles. And as per our syllabus, we have to study the principles of Fayol and Fayol, and second F.W. Taylor. The principles of Henry Fayol we have studied earlier. He gave 14 principles which are helpful in increasing the efficiency of managers, because these principles are concerned with the increase in efficiency of top level managers. Now we will study the principles of F.W. Taylor. The full form of F.W. Taylor is Frederick Winslow Taylor. So first you should know about the history of F.W. Taylor. F.W. Taylor. Frederick Winslow Taylor. Frederick Winslow Taylor was a management expert, and he gave his theory about principles of scientific management. He insisted to use of science in the field of management. He focused, whenever we are doing a particular work, we should not get stuck in old way, old techniques, old ways of doing work. Rather, we should always go on experimenting. We should work with cooperation with each other. There should be a feeling of harmony between labor and management. So he propounded the theory of scientific management. Actually, Taylor joined a company in USA, and name of the company was Midwell Steel Company in USA in 1878. And he works in that company as an ordinary worker. And because of his hard work and dedication, within a short period of 6 years, he promoted to the post of chief engineer in the same company. Later on, he joined another company in USA. The name of the company was Bethlehem Steel Company. So while doing his work in both the companies, because he also works like as an ordinary worker, he conducted a number of experiments. While doing the work, he observed that whatever amount of work is being done by a worker, that was quite far less what expected to be done by him. So on the basis of his experimentation and observation, he gave different management principles and techniques in the field of scientific management. So first, you should know what is the meaning of scientific management. Scientific management means the use of science in the field of management. F.W. Taylor also has given a definition of scientific management. According to him, management is the act of knowing exactly what you want men to do, and then seeing that they do it in the best and cheapest way. It means कि management is the act of knowing. ये जानने की एक कला है, what you want men to do, आप क्या करवाना चाहते हैं, and then seeing that they do it in the best and cheapest way. It means whatever work is being done, that must be done in an efficient manner and in cost effective manner. उसकी जो एफिशिएंसी लेवल हो वो हाई हो, कम से कम लागत आए। नाउ वी विल स्टडी द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ साइंटिफिक मैनेजमेंट। So Taylor has given 4 principles of scientific management, and all these principles are helpful in increasing the efficiency of ordinary worker, and these are the general guidelines for managers who take decisions while doing his work. So these 4 principles are: first, science, not rule of thumb. Science, not rule of thumb. Here, the meaning of science is to use the modern technique. We should always keep on experimenting. We should always goes on seeing how we can do the work in a cost-effective way, through using modern approach. So use of science and not rule of thumb. Rule of thumb means traditional techniques, old techniques. So according to F.W. Taylor, we should always goes on experimenting. Instead of, we should not get stuck in traditional techniques or old techniques, कि हम जो काम जिस मेथड से पहले करते आ रहे हैं हमें उसी को कंटिन्यू नहीं करना है। रेदर वी शुड ऑलवेज कीप ऑन एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग, लगातार हम एक्सपेरिमेंट करते रहें, एंड ऑलवेज try to develop new methods of doing work. If we use science, if we develop new methods, it will become our work more easier, simpler and quicker. जब भी हम मॉडर्न टेक्निक्स, नए नए मेथड्स यूज करेंगे, हमारा जो वर्क है वो इजी होगा, जल्दी होगा। तो दिस इज द मीनिंग ऑफ साइंस, नॉट रूल ऑफ थंब। सेकेंड, harmony, not discord. Here harmony means unity, सामंजस्य, तालमेल, and discord means dispute, conflicts. So whenever work is going on in any factory, there should be a complete harmony between workers and management. There should not be any kind of conflict. They always keep to create such an environment that instead of fighting with each other, they must work in such a manner that will provide maximum output. So here Taylor give one more term that is called as mental revolution. Mental revolution means to change the mentality of both labor and management, because the conflict between labor and management is regarding distribution of profits. Labor wants maximum share in profits, in the same way management is also wants to share maximum in profits. This is the matter of conflict between labor and management. So according to Taylor, there must be a harmony. If instead of fighting over profits, we make efforts to increase the profits, then it will give benefit to both the parties. Third, cooperation, not individualism. Cooperation, not individualism. According to this principle, there should be always a feeling of cooperation between labor and management. We should always use the term we instead of I. We should always cooperate with others. A single person cannot perform all the jobs individually. So there should be a feeling in his mind that we will do the work, not I. So we should always use the word we instead of I. Individual person cannot perform all the jobs. So there should be a feeling among all the people, all the persons who are working together, that collectively we will finish the job. If such cooperation is provided by all to each other, the work will be more efficient, it can be done very quickly, and it can also be done in a cost effective manner. And fourth principle is development of each and every to his or her greatest efficiency. Development of each and every person to his greatest efficiency. It means whenever a particular worker or a person is selected for the job, from the very beginning of his selection, proper care should be taken. When he is appointed on the job, he must be provided proper training, he must be provided such an environment, atmosphere, you can say friendly environment, where he can work with perfect dedication, where all the facilities are provided to him, proper salary, proper remuneration, proper incentives are provided to him. So the basic meaning of this principle is that each and every person who is appointed for the job, there must be a proper arrangement of his care. This care may be in the form of facilities provided to him, in the form of salary, or in the form of training. So these are the four principles of scientific management. Apart from these principles, Taylor also has given different techniques in the field of scientific management. So these are called as techniques of management. Scientific management. Techniques of scientific management. Earlier we have studied the principles of scientific management. So principles of management are the general guidelines which guide the managers how to take decision in a particular situation. Now what are techniques? The management principles are basic philosophy, while these techniques helps the manager how this basic philosophy, this basic theory can be implemented practically. So these managerial techniques helps the manager to apply the principles of management in practical shape. So Taylor has given 9 techniques of scientific management. So we will study one by one. So first technique is functional foremanship. Functional foremanship. So this technique is based totally on specialization. As we earlier studied, in a company, in an organization, the work is divided among the workers according to their capacity, according to their ability, according to their taste. And one thing more, the complete job, the whole work is not divided, not assigned to one person. Rather, the complete job is divided into many small parts, and a single small part is assigned to a worker. When a worker performs only one part of the complete job, he will become an expert in that job, specialist in that job, and this benefit of specialization will become available to the whole organization. So the functional foremanship theory is based on specialization. So to explain this theory, we will use a chart, a diagram. Taylor give this diagram, this theory on the basis of a company. Let us take an example of a company. If the head of a company is manager, right, factory manager. And there are two departments in this factory. One is planning department, and the head of that department is appointed, who is called as planning officer. Planning officer. Another department is production department, and head of production department will be called as production officer. So under factory manager, two persons are appointed, one at office level who is called as planning officer, and second is at production level who is called as production officer. So under planning officer, Taylor has appointed 4 experts. These 4 experts are: 1. Route clerk, number 2. Instruction card clerk, third is time and cost clerk, and fourth is discipline officer. And 4 experts are appointed at production level. So these 4 are: number 1, gang boss; number 2, speed boss; number 3, repairs boss; and fourth is inspector. And upon all these experts, 4 at office level, 4 at production level, workers are appointed. These are called as workers. So you can write here: in the same way, so this is the process chart of functional foremanship. So this theory of Taylor is totally opposite to the principle of unity of command given by Henry Fayol. You have studied one of the principle of Henry Fayol was unity of command. According to that principle, there should be at least one boss, one superior at one time who will give orders and instructions. But here Taylor appointed 4 experts, 4 officers, 4 at office level, 4 at production level, and who are giving orders at the same time to a single worker. So this principle is totally opposite to the principle of unity of command. Now we will study what are the functions of different persons. So first, route clerk. The job of route clerk is to decide the sequence of various activities to be done. All these 4 persons are working in the office. They have no link with the factory. They are sitting in the office and make planning. So this clerk decides the sequence. Whatever activities are to be conducted in a day, which activity will be done earlier, which is later, total amount of work is to be completed in a day. That is decided by route clerk. Second is instruction card clerk. So the job of this person is to prepare the instruction card for every worker. ये हर एक वर्कर के लिए अलग अलग कार्ड प्रिपेयर करता है जिसमें वर्कर्स के लिए इंस्ट्रक्शंस लिखी हैं कि किस वर्कर्स को कौन सी मशीन पर काम करना है, रॉ मटेरियल कहाँ से मिलेगा, मशीनरी कहाँ अवेलेबल है। एंड व्हेन एवर ए वर्कर एंटर्स ऑन द फैक्ट्री गेट, द कार्ड इज असाइंड टू द worker and immediately after reading the instructions he will start his work. So this will avoid any kind of delay in the work. Third is time and cost clerk. So this person decides the total work to be done in a day, how much time will be taken to complete that job by a worker, and how much cost will be required to complete that cost. So this clerk decides the complete work of a day, how much time is to be taken and how much cost is to be incurred. Fourth is discipline officer. The job of discipline officer is to maintain the discipline, that all the activities should be completed in a disciplined manner. Now at production level 4 experts are appointed. These are first gang boss. So different workers are divided into various groups and the leader of the group is called as gang boss. The main job of gang boss is to see that all workers and machines are fit for functioning, for working. Workers are ready, machines are ready, fit, and he also provide raw material to the workers. Second is speed boss. The main job of speed boss is to check the working speed of the workers when they are doing the work, how much time or at what speed they are working. If speed is slow, so he will find out the reason why they are doing the work at slow speed, and in case there are some differences, deviations, he will take corrective action. Third is repairs boss. The job of repairs boss is to repair the machinery, ऑयलिंग, लुब्रिकेटिंग, मेंटेनेंस, जो भी मशीनरीज हैं उनको फिट रखना, उनकी ग्रीसिंग, ऑयलिंग, लुब्रिकेटिंग, उनको काम के लिए फिट रखना. एंड फोर्थ इज इंस्पेक्टर. द मेन जॉब ऑफ इंस्पेक्टर इज टू चेक द क्वालिटी ऑफ आउटपुट. वट एवर प्रोडक्शन इज प्रोड्यूस्ड, द क्वालिटी शुड बी अकॉर्डिंग टू द स्टैंडर्ड्स. तो हिज जॉब इज टू मेक इंश्योर दैट output should be according to the standards. And all these 8 experts, 4 at office level and 4 at factory level, are appointed on a worker. So in this way a worker will get benefit of expertise of various persons, and this theory is totally based on specialization. So this is the functional foremanship. Other techniques of F.W. Taylor we will study in next lecture. Now today's job is over. Thank you.